yourself as CEO. I know that you've had a presentation to investors recently. From where you sit and the strategy for the company and what you're doing, you've talked about long-term profitability.
Yeah.
It is a cluttered space. I mean, where do you see the differentiation for you? Because it's certainly a name I've known of, on the consumer side with people in this office who've used it.
I think there's a few. I mean, obviously, when you think about education technology, there's a lot of different, facets of that. There are some people who compete with YouTube and go directly to individuals with just how-to content. Very difficult space.
Right. You're not in the influencer space.
Right. We are not in the influencer space, unless you would call some of the professors they do have big followings. But that's hard to build a business in such a crowded, undifferentiated market. There are some players who have been in the degrees only space, and that has been generally a very high cost type of production capability and very high acquisition cost marketing capability. So that's been struggling. As I think about Coursera and what we need to do and what we're, I think, pretty well set up to do is to be a global brand where we can have global distribution, because it costs a lot of money to build the architecture. It costs a lot of money to bring on these partners.
Yeah, they don't come cheap.
They don't come cheap. And if you can't spread that across lots and lots and lots and lots of learners around the world, then you're not going to make enough revenue to pay for the cost of building this thing in the first place. In addition, when you think about the content that you want to bring on, if it's something that you can get anywhere or doesn't have a credential that has some kind of value, it's really hard to differentiate. So we think a lot about what is the quality and the brand, not just of Coursera, but of our partners. And does the content have a credential that goes with it? Whether that's a college degree that says, I know this because I passed my tests and I got this college degree, or I know this because Meta gives me a certificate that says I have passed all the programming.
Which you're now offering for free from Meta, right? So that those skills demands you can offer free. It's interesting. When this sort of first came out, it was very much about the consumer, the individual.
Yes.
Like, Diane, you want to improve, go to Coursera and make yourself nimbler, faster, stronger. Now it seems there's more on the enterprise, and it's the company that's really it's the company's responsibility to now serve me up this. What are you seeing in terms of the division of growth on your end? It's
a combination. So the consumer channel, which is that direct to individuals, is definitely how the company got started. I think if we tried to start going through institutions, it would have been dead before it ever took off.
Right.
Going straight to individuals was kind of the big game changer back in 2012. And then what we have done is said, look, we'll continue to serve individuals directly, like totally friction-free, just come learn what you want. But there are a lot of individuals, people at work who want the support of their company saying, if you want this job, here are the skills that you need. We will help you get access to the content on Coursera. We'll help measure that. We'll provide support for you. We'll pay for it for you. So helping people through institutions, which are businesses, is important. Students on campus who are today taking a bunch of courses on campus but would like to take some courses on Coursera that count towards a degree, that's an institutional sort of support structure that's very helpful. And then in governments, we're working with lots of governments who are helping unemployed and underemployed citizens who might not know to go to Coursera or might not know which jobs to pursue or might not have the money to pay for it. So working through institutions to serve individuals is, I'd say, an addition to going directly to the individuals.
You get a lot of insight into what's happening on the global front, students, and obviously I've seen a little bit about the demographics, the popularity in places like China and India. What are you seeing in terms of trends that are interesting or surprising to you in terms of both demand and maybe some of the different areas? Makes sense, generative AI, we want to all learn about it, but anything else that's on your radar that's just emerging?
The things that we've seen for quite some time is that if you look, because we have 5,500 courses from our partners that are published, and most of them are in business technology and data science. We have a growing number in healthcare. We also have them in social sciences, history, culture, all sorts of things. We don't get almost any revenue for anything other than business technology, data science, and health. The other stuff is just for enjoyment, and people don't really pay for that. They just take it.
Self-edification.
That's right.
Not profitable.
We like to say skills pay the bills.
Right.
For us and for the learners. I mean, learning a skill that's going to help your career, that's what people pay for. So that's been a trend that's been around for a longer period of time. I'd say that, more recently what we have seen is a lot of younger people realizing that English is a second language is a valuable way to get a remote job at an international company. Generally speaking, what we've seen people realize is, hey, not only can I learn from anywhere, but certain skills will enable me to get a remote work job.
Yeah.
And so my job opportunities are much broader than the city that I'm living in or the country that I'm in.
That's one of those skills pay the bills. That's not a self-edification.
Exactly.